Hey guys, it's Kim here with Fairly Fiber Fun, and I want to thank you for joining me on today's show. Today we are having a show and tell episode for June. And I know we got off track last month, but I'm going to try to get back onto the scheduled uploads and see if we can stick to the schedule. Also, I've made a few changes, and I'm hoping we can do 2 show and tells a month rather than once. And I want to try to release a few little videos on a couple of Wednesdays in between the regular shows. So we'll see how that goes. Today I'm going to start off with talking about a new book that I bought. Cannot read or talk today. The Field Guide to Fleece by Deborah Robson and Carol Icarius. And these are the same people that wrote the Fleece and Fiber Source book, which I did not know when I ordered this. So this is really cool. This is like their pocket edition to the Fleece and Fiber Source book. And since that's the book I wanted to get, I'm delighted I got their pocket edition. It's awesome. I've already looked through and read little bits and pieces on every single fleece in here, and discovered why my Cormo fleece is carding beautifully on 190 tips per inch hand cards, and that's because it's a very fine fleece, which I did not know until I read it in here. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to have to go through the book and mark all the fleeces that are, the least likely to felt. But to give you an example of what's in here, like this is a Dorset down, and it talks a little bit about the breed, and it tells you the effective dyes and then the best uses. It has a picture of the sheep and then a picture of the fleece in here so you can see it, and then it's got a little snippet down here at the bottom, a little bit more interesting info about that particular breed. So that's really cool. It doesn't go into a lot of detail because it is a pocket edition, but it's pretty awesome. Okay, I recently finished spinning a Fluffy Owl superwash targhee, which was the most fun to spin. May was a very difficult month for us, and I finally treated myself to a pretty easy spin. Pretty and easy. And I bought this fiber, and when it arrived I went absolutely bonkers on it. If you guys watch the unboxing, you'll see that. And when I was spinning, I went even more bonkers. So it's mostly like reds and purples, purpley red I should say, but it's got some greens and blues in it as well. And it even had a few white sections that didn't take dye. And I just went crazy when I was spinning this as I got to each individual color. I went crazy with it. Can you see those colors? I kept sitting there at my wheel going, oh my God, you gotta see this, is so pretty. And then all the kids would come gather around and look at it. Yeah. So I stripped the fiber down in the braid in half, and I set one half aside to spin end to end. And then I took the other half and I divided it into 4 sections, splitting it down the middle, and spun them end to end, not caring which end I started with. And since they're similar colors on each end, it didn't matter. And then I applied the 2 together, but I ran out of one bobbin before the other, of course. I had 67 yards when I was done plying what was left. I bracelet plied it, and this is what I got. This is a little 1 yard skein here, and it is 67 yards. So look at this. It's springy. I underspun or barely spun enough in the singles to hold it together, and then severely overplied, and that resulted in a majorly springy yarn. Rachel on Woolen Spinning has been talking about that. That's her typical way to spin. And I thought, I've always been afraid to overspin, and I realized that you don't have to be afraid of that. So this is my first intentional overply. And I love the resulting yarn. Now, this little leftover skein has less red in it and more purple, so it's a little bit different in the coloration, so it might go well as a border or something. Let's see. You can see the difference, a little bit of difference there between the two. But this turned out to be a gorgeous skein of yarn, and all that extra twist just dropped right out during the bath. As you can see, this is hanging perfectly balanced. I did not weigh it or anything. I soaked it for about 15-20 minutes, and then I gave it a really good thwack. Thwacked it like crazy and hung it up to dry and let it dry for a few days, because my house, it always takes forever to dry stuff. It's so humid over here. So yeah, I'm going crazy with it. This is the first time I've come across a fiber that I fell that much in love with. It's like I saw it and I went, oh, I know exactly how I'm going to spin this. And I've never, I usually look at the fiber and go, well, I don't know what I want to do with it. And then I do some research and I look at it and I play with it and I roll around on it and finally decide on something, and then go halfway through the spin, oh man, I wish I tried something else. This one, no, this fiber wants to be spun for this particular way of doing the colors, and I didn't stress over it. I just spun it. I had fun. I took my time. Thoroughly enjoyed spinning, and I was intending for it to be like a sport weight without really caring what the weight was. It's just my standard spin, I guess, default yarn, and it's a heavy fingering light sport, so it turned out really well. And now that I have it finished, I've already picked a pattern for it. So this superwash Targhee is not going to become socks unless I change my mind. I found a gorgeous shawl pattern that looks like a dragon's wings, and since I love fairies and dragons and all these mystical things, I thought that'd be perfect. Besides, the color is just so gorgeous, it needs to be shown off in a beautiful shawl. So that's the spin I finished, and there it is, I'll be right back. I finished my first attempt, number 3, the first sock of the Gulf Coast Native yarn that I spun, Kool-Aid dyed and spun. And when I finished it, I stuck it on my foot, and I walked around the house, one barefoot, one sock foot, and it was so comfortable. When I took the sock off, my foot went, no. So, yeah, apparently my feet really like this particular fiber and the way I knit these. So that was nice. I can't wait. I haven't even started the second one. I need to get that done. I just frogged the previous attempt so that I can knit it, and I just need to get to it. But in the meantime, I haven't started because I started a shawl. This is the Hazy Days shawl, and in my Ravelry group, I'm doing an unofficial knit along. And right now I'm in the middle of a row, which I meant to finish, but oh well. It's supposed to be like a crescent, and this is the neck, and it gets bigger and bigger as you go. And I'm really enjoying this knit. It's with hand spun, Targhee Doublet hand spun that was very nippy and nuppy and textured. So we'll see how it does in this shawl. This is a garter stitch shawl. It is not stockinette, so it's reversible. And not sure I like the fact that it's garter stitch, but I'm going to make the pattern as is for now and see how it works out. Later on, maybe I could try it again in a stockinette or a different one. So I had trouble reading that pattern and ended up ripping it out like 4 times because the pattern wasn't computing to my brain. My daughter found my little clicker row counter, and that solved the problem. So it was, my brain just wasn't able to keep up with the rows and the pattern and all that. So I've also been, but it's a fun pattern and I love the colors and I love knitting with this yarn. The pattern called for, I can't remember, a size 6 or size 8 needles, and I had to go up to a size 10 for this yarn because it was too dense and the pattern wasn't showing up. So, as you can see, there's a lot of difference in the size of the yarn. Oh, the color went weird. So it's thick and thin, kind of. Not severe, but kind of. So we'll see how this shawl turns out. I'm really excited to get it done. Besides that, I've been using my 190 TPI hand cards I bought for carding cotton to card the dark Cormo that's going to be a sweater spin. And this is a rolled up roll log. I am using size US 10 knitting needles for making the roll logs, and they're absolutely wonderful. And this is the softest fiber I think I've ever worked with. Animal fiber. It's wonderful. I have a whole box here stuffed full. I don't know how many roll logs are in here, and I have not weighed the box. This is a box of, it was a box of 12-pack of ramen noodles, and each layer has 12 roll logs in it. So if that gives you any idea. And I really packed them in here, like I shoved them down a little, not a lot, so I can get a little bit extra in there. And I've got another box to work on now. So the goal is to fill up a box at a time. And it took me a couple of weeks to fill up that one because I didn't work on it a whole lot. It was kind of a pleasure thing I did in between other stuff. But besides that, I have been I've been working on crocheted pot holders for Tour de Fleece prizes and Patreon giveaways. So I've been buying the big cones of cotton yarn whenever they're on sale. The cookies and cream cotton yarn is cheap yarn, it's no big deal. And then I can make a whole bunch of sets off of one cone. I think I can make 6 sets. Usually I make 2 pot holders and I'm done, but this time I started making the little handle pockets. These handle pockets, you could slide them over the handle of a cast iron skillet, and then when you grab the hot handle, your hand is protected, and if you need extra protection, you just wrap a pot holder around it. But this way, the pot holder doesn't slip and you burn your hand. Been there, done that. On a side note, if you have a gas stove and you leave these on the handle on the stove while you're cooking, they can catch fire. I've done that. One caught fire while I was right there at the stove stirring. I was holding on to the pot holder and it caught fire. So you have to be very careful if you have a gas stove. Electric stoves don't do that. So I have this gorgeous green and white set. It's going to be a prize or a giveaway, the little handle pocket. And then I have this white with little bits of blue, green, and yellow. Ah, sorry, I dropped the pocket. And I've got a few other colors. Bought some more of the browns and earth tones and found another skein of blue and white. It's really pretty. So as new colors come out that I like, I'll be buying those. And the prize winners for Tour de Fleece get to tell me what color they would prefer, and I get to make them custom for those. I am in 2 teams this Tour de Fleece, and the one team is do it yourself or die. And so one person from that team will receive a set of pot holders from me. And then the other team is Team Starsheep. I don't know why I have trouble remembering that. It's Team Starsheep. And Duchess Red on Ravelry. It's her group and it's her shop. And I love her fibers. She's an indie dyer and her fibers are gorgeous. So she has a shop on Etsy and she has her own group on Ravelry. Excuse me. I had some little hiccups or something. And anyway, her fibers are awesome, and I joined her fiber club, and I don't remember when it's going to be released, but I'm hoping to get the first package before Tour de Fleece. If not, oh well, it'll come when it comes. I'm not sure when she's mailing them out. I'll have to look again and see. But I'm really excited to be part of that team again. This year, I was that one was the only team I was in last year, and we had so much fun. So, and I won some fiber and some other little gifts, and that was really cool. So this year I'm giving gifts, and I'm very excited. I can't wait for the tour to be over with so that I can give away my prizes. That's awesome. I think that's about it for today. Yeah, I think that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll try to come back and do another one soon. I know I'll be doing another show and tell right before Tour de Fleece starts because I kind of want to do a summary on the prep. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you next time. Happy spinning. Bye.